Hello and welcome to Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC.
A weekly podcast and YouTube channel where we discuss all things Wrexham AFC from the point of view of long-term fans and new fans.
So sit back, put your feet up, relax and let's get stuck in.
Hello and welcome back to episode 142 of Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC.
Is the singing thing staying now?
Yes!
I'm not doing it.
No.
Just when it's my week,
me.
I'm not doing it, just to let you know.
Okay.
What's coming up, Sian?
So on this week's show, we talk about our Saturday clash with Stockport and what a clash that was. We look ahead at our 450-mile round trip to Exeter on Saturday the 1st. I don't know. Whatever day it is next Saturday. I don't know. This Saturday even. And we also do the quiz. So exciting stuff.
Before we start.
The quiz.
Yeah, it is. It's always exciting, the quiz.
Yeah,
Just before we start, anyone watching on YouTube, a few people have asked me something.
What?
They've asked me, so as you're looking at us, on the left-hand side, people are asking, what's that hanging in the corner? And it's basically, it's our National League winners medal. That hangs
a replica,
on the flag.
Obviously. It's not the real deal.
Yeah. So, but a few people have asked, going, I can always see something in the corner. So I thought I'd better just sort of, bring that out.
Yeah.
And just sort of explain what that is, because I don't know what people think it is. But
when we've done all our rebranding and all our furniture shuffle and all that kind of stuff and new equipment and everything, we'll do a little tour of the tiny little studio that we have.
Because we do have lots of little bits of sort of memorabilia in here. So we've got like a Wrexham lager, keg, 5 litre keg that's got champions on it.
We've got Rex.
Yeah, we got Rex. We've got some Wrexham lager beer bottles, empty ones. We've got a Deadpool.
Of course they're empty.
Yeah, got like a little Deadpool Funko Pop. We got loads of stuff in here, but you just don't see it.
So we will show you around.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, and we'll try and. I think the idea was getting all this stuff in here was to sort of have it as like part of the set, but it's never really sort of come off, has it? And we're just sort of with a camera and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, we do have lots in here. Honestly, if you could see this room beyond what you can see on the camera,
it's tiny. But you know when you get
just it's tiny, it's an absolute mess.
It's not an absolute mess.
It is a bit, isn't it?
There's a couple of things that shouldn't be in here, but anyway, let's crack on. So we've got 8 games to go.
Oh, I know. It's happening.
I'm getting a bit sad.
It's happening, you know.
Nigel messaged us yesterday, and he said, scary and exciting.
Yes.
In equal measure about the prospect of going up. But he said, if we've got this.
It feels like it's happening, though. And I don't want to. I'm trying to get myself out of that mindset. It wasn't that long ago where I just gone, I've written it off. It's not happening.
Such a negative Nelly.
But it sort of feels like I've swung back the other way now, and it feels like it's actually happening. But then at the same time, I'm trying to not get swept up.
Oh, I certainly am.
Yeah, I know, but I'm trying not to get swept up in the whole, it's happening, because there's some tricky games coming up. And, and it could easily swing back the other way.
Have we got more away than we have home? I can't.
Yes, I think we have. Yeah, it is. But I was looking at we're going to talk when we get to about sort of 5 games to maybe 6 games to go, maybe even next week. I'm not sure yet, but we're going to have a look at the running. So we're going to have a look at our running. We'll have a look at Wycombe's running. I was thinking about maybe having a look at Charlton's running, but obviously they lost on the weekend, so they're a little bit further back now. So I'm not sure. We will look at the running. I think, I shouldn't say this, but on paper,
we should do it.
No, that wasn't what I was going to stop jumping in 2-footed. I was just going to say, on paper, I think our running looks a bit nicer than Wycombe's looks. That is just on paper. The game is not played on paper.
Someone said to me yesterday, I don't know who it was, I think it might have been Alfie actually. He said to me, have we got the record for the most 1-0 wins in League One this season?
Well, we've got a message. We had a message from someone.
Yeah.
So I think that's on here now. Yeah. So it was Roy who actually got in touch with us. He said this was before the game on Saturday. He said so that is 11 1-0 wins so far this season. That 9 in the league, 2 in the EFL trophy. Aside from not allowing 1-0 as a prediction now, which we have absolutely vetoed. Because
I so would go for 1-0 every week.
I wonder what the EFL record is for 1-0 wins in a season. It doesn't seem like the kind of thing record keepers follow. You're probably right, Roy, because I couldn't find, if there is anybody out there who knows if there is a record for 1-0 wins, because that is now 12 this season, but let's forget
trophies.
Forget the EFL trophy. That is 10 that 1-0 wins we've had in the league this season. That's got to be right up there as some sort of...
Well, yeah.
Because I think somebody... I fell down a bit of a rabbit hole with this. Thanks, Roy. Where I was sort of... I ended up on like Reddit and all these dark recesses of the internet trying to find...
Dark recesses?
Just
like the dark web?
No, not the dark web. Just like the little pockets of like the fans and stuff, where I was trying to find if there was any sort of record of, you know, the most 1-0 wins in a season. Somebody had said Arsenal always used to have a song that they used to sing, and it was 1-0 to the Arsenal because they won loads of games 1-0, right? And this was back in the day, in the 90s, sort of when George Graham was manager, and it was something that they used to sing. And somebody said that they'd found that Arsenal had won 10 games 1-0 in a season. And that's obviously what we've now won in the league in a season. But that wasn't a definitive, this is the record. Somebody had just gone, oh, I remember Arsenal used to win 1-0 a lot, so let's have a look at them. And somebody found that they'd won 10 in a season. There could be someone completely random that's won more. If anyone knows of a record, please help me to find it, because I can't find it. But like I say, we've got to be right up there. We're 1-0 wins. We must do. But thanks for that, Roy, because you really...
Sorry, I didn't mean to bat your hand away like that. I was like, it's on the right thing.
You sort of... You lost me about 2 hours of my life, Roy, trying to find this, and I couldn't.
It would have been worth it if you'd found an answer, but the fact that you didn't find an answer...
But now I didn't find an answer. It really wasn't worth it. But there we go.
Anyway, more people that got in touch. Gareth Jackson, hi both. Funny you should mention the missing the end of the Wigan game. Same thing happened to me. We went to game with friends. My mate worked for Wickham for a while, and we had 4 tickets in the main stand with a great view of our away end, but in the middle of a bunch of chair boys. I was going to say choir boys.
I thought you were.
Chair boys. Both wives got cold and moaned about missing the meal booked in town. Listened to the goal in the car on the way out of the ground. Still had a great weekend though. Keep up the good work. With single duvets, you cannot fart bomb. Big minus.
I think what you've done there, Gareth, is you've just completely convinced Sian that that it maybe is a good idea to do.
I don't think in our 15 years together, I don't think you've ever fart bombed me in bed, because you know that you would get a kick in the nuts if you did.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway.
Yeah. Christian got in touch. He said, hey, both. Hope you're well. Just listened to you on my way into work. Heather and I have the most perfect relationship. 12 years together, and we live in separate houses, 200 yards from one another. Forget duvet covers.
Right.
Up for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
not a chance.
That was such a quick answer.
Yeah.
You just went. That almost felt like you said yes before I finished the sentence.
I would die in the first week if I lived on my own. I have never, ever in my entire 43 years of life lived on my own. Apart from when my mum and dad went on holiday and stuff like that.
If we could afford to buy a second house just down the road, we'd have one tidy house and one messy one, wouldn't we?
Shut up.
I didn't say which was which, but I will let you made your own mind up with that.
Anyway. Anyway.
Yeah, let's move on. We had an email as well.
Oh, I was going to shout out Tam, so I'm glad you put this on.
Yeah, from Tam. It's nearing the end of the season. I thought I'd send this to my favourite podcasters. Thank you very much. Just my way of tracking the Wrexham journey. Attached is an Excel file. It has all the match days, points, positions on the table for each scheduled match for each team. How many draws there were per match day or cumulative for the season. It's there. Wrexham home versus away. It's there. Points per game average, there. Who let the dogs out? Not there. Maybe next season. Even if you don't care, it's likely there. I've had so much fun doing this that I wanted to share with someone. Tag, you're it. Your podcasts make my Mondays better, Tam.
Do you know what? I had a look at this spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And it is pretty damn impressive.
Wow. Now, as I've probably mentioned on this podcast before, I love a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
I love a spreadsheet. But this
is on another level.
It is next level. I was looking at it and it was sort of like there was like all the game weeks and positions in the table. There was a key at the bottom, but there was only certain game weeks. There was like sort of game week 30, 25. 20, 15, like that. And I was like, oh, that's a bit strange. There was like collapsible tables in it as well that opened it up. And I was like, do you know what this is? I'd love to know what you do for a living. It's got to be, you must work with spreadsheets on a regular basis because...
But you love a spreadsheet, but you
I love a spreadsheet.
But you don't work with I mean, you used to, I suppose.
Yeah, I used to. I love a spreadsheet. But there's stuff in there, and I was like, "How'd you do that?" It was so impressive.
You're Excel intermediate, and Tam is like advanced.
Super advanced.
Yeah.
It was absolutely fantastic. I loved it, and I tell you what, I really loved going back over the sort of game weeks and remembering where we were in the table and going, "Oh yeah, we were top for a little bit." I think the lowest I'd seen on there that we'd been all season was 8th.
And that was at the beginning of the season.
That was right at the beginning of the season, I think. So, yeah, it was so impressive. I loved it.
Brilliant.
I loved it.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, thank you for sending it. Sian very much, I'll tell you what Sian did. Sian opened it and I saw the confused face and she went, "You'll have to have a look at that."
See, I do use Excel spreadsheets in my job pretty much all the time. But like I mean, I'm good at Excel, but I'm not. That sort of information is just an overload of my brain.
I could see your eyes flickering.
Oh, I was, yeah. It was impressive though, you know, all the stats and all that kind of stuff. So it was brilliant. I would share it on social media because there'd be loads of people interested in that.
I'll tell you something else. Every season I always say, I'm going to keep track of this. You know, and
you don't need to now.
Well, no, for next season, I mean, now, you know, to throw a few things in, a few extra bits in there that I'd like to do is keeping track of who was man of the match and you know, who scored and all that.
So Ollie Rathbone, pretty much.
Yeah, no, just autofill his name and then we'll see where we go from there. And like, you know, whether we were awarded a penalty or not. I've had to research certain things this week, which took a lot of time. And the reason they took a lot of time is because they take a lot of time. And it's like, if I'd have kept a detailed record like Tam did, then it would have been so much easier for me to research the things I was trying to do.
Get organised.
I know.
And get it ready for next season.
I will.
Well, once we know where we're going to be.
Yes, I will do that.
So a bit of news. If you follow Wrexham AFC's social media, you would have known that they had collections for the food bank. Wrexham Food Bank, which they were outside the Mould Road stand. We took some food for them.
Yeah, it was a nightmare, wasn't it? Because we were like, right, we'll go to the supermarket.
Yeah, because we get ours delivered, you see.
Yeah, we get ours delivered, and we didn't realise. No, we didn't forget. We didn't realise it was happening prior to us putting our order in, did we?
No.
So we thought, right, we'll go and get some food, some bags of food. We'll take them to the game with us, and then on Saturday we forgot. we forgot to do it. And then it was so last minute. We went, right, we're saying to our son, get ready, get ready, get ready. We've got to go to the supermarket. So we rushed there. We got some bags of food, and then we went to the game, didn't we?
I like doing stuff like that. The reason why is because I think it teaches children, you know, the meaning of giving. Because like Alfie is an only child, and I hold my hands up and say he's very spoiled. He does get a lot.
Yeah.
So it's nice for him to see people doing something for other people. Because he was like, what, why are we going to the supermarket? We had our shopping delivered yesterday. And we were just like, look, Alfie, this is what we're doing. And then we showed him the list, and he was like helping us out and all that. So yeah, I think it's a really important thing. And obviously it helps people out as well. Yeah,
I tell you, the one mistake that maybe we made doing this is, we like I said, the Wrexham Food Bank did have a list of what to buy, you know, what they were short of. So, you know, so we went with that. We seemed to pick the heaviest items on that list. I was carrying it to the game.
You're carrying this to the race course.
I was like, I should have picked. So maybe next time we'll look at the lighter stuff, because it was heavy getting it there. But anyway, I think it was great. And look, if you do want to donate to the Wrexham Food Bank, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put a link in the description of this video on YouTube, so that you can, because there's different ways you can donate. You can donate food. You can go and drop off food. You can donate money. There is an international donation as well, which I know Jay...
I was just going to say, Jay is a massive advocate of the Wrexham Food Bank.
Yeah,
he
is.
So.
And he very much pushed this. And, you know, so you can do that. If you're international fans, you can donate to the cause as well. Or if you're a little bit more local, you can actually volunteer at the Wrexham Food Bank as well. So
we should do that.
Yes, we should. Yeah, it's always trying to find the right time to do it. But yeah, we should 100% do that.
Out of season.
Out of season, maybe, but yeah, so I'll put a link down in the description. You can have a look at that, and you can, you know, anything is obviously appreciated for that.
But if you also need the services of the food bank, then, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Harry Ashfield.
Yes,
so,
one of our own.
Yeah.
Homegrown talent.
Birthday last week.
His birthday was on the 23rd, so it was yesterday.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Today, because we're recording, but yesterday, if you're watching.
Yes.
So the 23rd of March.
Or Sunday, if you're watching later than when it's actually released.
23rd of March.
Yeah. Anyway.
He's 19.
He is 19. He signed a 2-year contract.
Yep.
Keeps him at the club till the 26-27 season. I think we talked about Harry a little bit. Everyone's been very impressed with him.
Yes.
You know, he's put in some good performances in the EFL trophy. I have said this before, and I'm not being sort of like, you know, downbeat or anything. I think he's really gonna, you know, the situation we had with Max is very different to the situation we've now got with Harry, because Max came in the National League, not League One. He came in the National League. He grew as a player, playing a little bit lower down the pyramid. He cemented a place, and he grew in stature as a player. Harry's in a much more difficult position that we've now got, you know, better players in our team that he has to try and get ahead of, and he has to try and grow quicker, and he has to try and grow more as a player to get into this team. I do wonder if he is ever going to get that opportunity.
I think, obviously he signed this 2-year deal, but obviously he can still go out on loan. So maybe in the summer, maybe he will go out on loan for a season or something in the National League, maybe, or even League Two.
Maybe.
Just to get him some regular game time. You know, get him to. I mean, look what the loan spell's done for Sam Dalby. I mean, nobody thought that he would be where he is now.
No.
So I think definitely people think, oh, you know, he's going out on loan. He'll be gone like next season. But I think with players like Harry Ashfield, I think it is very important for him to get regular game time, to hone his skills. And it's all great. It's all, you know, it's fantastic that he's learning from the likes of James McLean, Steve Fletcher, Jay Rodriguez, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think it's really important that it's all well and good learning.
Yeah.
But I think you need with a
practical experience.
Yeah, I think with a career in football, learning is
okay.
10% of what you need, and you need like 90% minutes on the pitch. So I think going out on loan wouldn't be a massive issue.
No, I think that's the same for every job though. It's like I don't know, I can't think of anything. Being an electrician, it's all right sitting in a classroom learning stuff, but where you really learn is out on the job, isn't it, really, and doing. So yeah, I do wonder really whether he's ever going to get a shot, and I'm not. I don't want to be just sort of poo-poo it and be the Mr. Downer, but I'm not sure he ever will.
Well, if we, the last game of the season, if there is no way that Wycombe can overtake us, we are definitely promoted.
Not necessarily Wycombe, though. It could be somebody else.
Anyone.
Yeah.
If we stick in the second position and we go to Lincoln on the last day of the season...
Yep.
You never know. He might just say, do you know what? It's the last game. But then you're thinking, whose place is he taking for someone who's actually done pretty much all season to get us to where we are?
I dare say, if we are already promoted, right? If we get promoted, let's say, second to last game against Charlton. Right? And we're up. We go into Lincoln. I dare say there'll be a few first team players going, do you know what? I'm just gonna go on the beers all week.
I'm done.
I'm more than happy. Go on, Harry. You hop in.
Yeah.
I think, developmentally and
selfishly,
I think there'll be some players who will be more than happy to stand aside. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever you think, please comment if you think I'm wrong. But I think it's a.
I think I'm not.
I think it's a huge uphill battle for him
to break into this team. Which is why I think him going out on loan will be a massive advantage to him.
Yeah, probably. Congratulations to Humphrey for completing the New York half marathon. Yes. So his little picture, he looked absolutely knackered.
Oh, bless him. He has been training hard for that.
He has.
He was at the race course on Saturday as well.
He completed it. And, huge congratulations. Raising money for the Wrexham Foundation and also Kick for Life as well. Ben Foster did it as well.
He did.
I saw Ben Foster doing it, and it was nice to see him. I think he ran it in a Wrexham shirt, didn't he, Ben Foster? So it's still...
I think Humphrey did as well.
Yeah, I think there was quite a few people. I saw the picture, but I didn't recognise everyone. But I think it's a case of, people involved with the Wrexham Foundation. And it was, so congrats, Humphrey, because I know you really didn't want to do this when it started. But you've stuck at it, and, you've got it done. So fair play to you. Yeah. I mean, Ben... Yeah, well done, Ben. But, I mean, you have been a professional athlete most of your life, so it's very different you doing it to someone like Humphrey doing it, I think. A low level well done to Ben Foster, massive well done to Humphrey, I think.
Talking of Ben Foster, it's actually 2 years ago today, as we were recording this, that he came to Wrexham after 18 years away.
Did it? Is it? 2 years?
2 years.
Wow.
I know.
That's mad, isn't it?
We did a TikTok on it.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
Yeah, doesn't seem... obviously, because he came back in the National League, didn't he?
2 years ago to
wow.
To 23rd of March.
God, time flies, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
It's a Friday as well, I remember, obviously, because it was 2 years ago and it's a Sunday.
Yeah. Anyway, so another congratulations. Wrexham women won 4-0 against Pontypridd United in their Welsh Cup semi-final. They make the final for the second year in a row, and it's going to be a repeat of last year's final against Cardiff. They unfortunately lost that game last year. I think what bodes really well for them, they've got to the final of this, and I didn't write the date down, but it's quite a while away. I think something like the 27th of April or something like that. It's towards the end of April, the final. They've just beat Cardiff in the league away, which I think bodes quite well, because I don't think they beat them in the league last season. I think they lost. So I think that's, that'll be at Rodney Parade. Huge congratulations.
Yes.
Another final. Fingers crossed for that one for the women. Talking about the women as well, they're going to play at the racecourse on the 30th of March against Britain Ferry. There are tickets available for that. So if you I think for me, it's a case of pack it out as much as you can. You know, there are a lot of people who can't get tickets for games. This is an opportunity. There'll be some people who go, oh yeah, I like watching the men, but not necessarily the women. But, you know, you've got a chance to go to the racecourse and experience a match day, and it'd be great to sort of pack it out. That would be brilliant. So, you know, get on, buy tickets.
Get on.
Buy tickets. It's Tuesday. Let's talk about Tuesday a little bit. So we didn't have a game.
We didn't know. But we still watched the Wycombe Rotherham game.
It is amazing, I find, during the season, how many, you know, there are people out there who go, you can only have one team. One team, you know, you can't have, oh, I support them there and then there. One team, right? There's loads of people who say that. But isn't it amazing during the season how many teams that you actually cheer
Especially
for?
this point of the season.
Yeah, that you're cheering for all these teams that you think, you know, I'd never thought I'd be cheering for these. You know, it was a, you know, cold Tuesday night. You know, you're tired, you're sitting on your sofa and you're sitting there going, come on, Rotherham! And, you know, it's so weird. And it was proper, come on, lads, let's get this done.
Yeah.
And I think at the start of the season, it was very much whoever Birmingham were playing. Let's cheer them on because, you know, we're in the mix. We're right
now
at the
we
top.
don't care.
Now we don't care who Birmingham are playing. Not bothered. You know, you go off and you do what you need to do.
We're never going to catch you up. So.
No, now it's sort of whoever Wycombe are playing or whoever Charlton are playing. And, you know, if we don't have a game, let's stick that game on and let's see how that goes. But yeah, it was, I don't know, it was one of them. Wycombe very much took a page out of the Wrexham play crap and win handbook, really, because they were poor.
Except they scored more goals than we usually do.
That is true, yeah. I mean, they were very much, for 70 minutes, they were lethargic. They were just sort of like, they were in first gear completely. They just didn't do anything at all. And it was just so slow. And then Rotherham scored. And we got quite excited that Rotherham had scored. We thought,
me more so than you.
Yeah, a little bit more than me.
I'm more like of an extrovert when it comes to excitement. Ryan's more like
reserved. I tell you what it was. I felt, I could very much felt that Wycombe were in first gear. Yeah. And I knew they had second gear, third gear, fourth. I knew they could ramp it up. Yeah. And when they went 1-0 down, I think for me, the best case scenario would have been perhaps that Rotherham hadn't scored at all and it ended 0-0. I think that was possibly, because I think what happened is Rotherham just sort of poked the bear a little bit. They scored and then Wycombe went, oh God, we're going to have to try now.
Yeah.
And they did, you know, and they scored.
I don't even think they tried, but I don't think they tried like...
I don't even
massively.
think... No, they didn't get into top gear, but they quite comfortably went 1-1, 2-1, 3-1. Rotherham got a penalty at the end to bring them back. We'd switched off by then. But yeah, they just sort of ramped it up a little bit, scored, and, you know, it felt very Wrexham-esque, I think. So the table... It
was like watching Wrexham.
A little bit. And then, so they leapfrogged back above us into second, level on points. We had an email, actually, from Linda, who said, my question is why are Wrexham third and Wycombe second when our points are the same? It doesn't make sense. It does. Don't worry. And I know you will be kind in answering and some people might not be. I hope you're having a good week. Yes, we were.
I don't understand why people won't be kind, Linda, because it is a very valid question. Because when I started watching football, I didn't understand it either.
Yeah.
It is very confusing.
Yeah, but it's quite simple. So when teams in a league are level on points, the first thing that they go to is goal difference. So goal difference is your goals scored, your goals conceded, the difference between them two. So I think at the time Wycombe were plus 28. They'd scored 64, they conceded 36, so they were plus 28. We had scored 51, conceded 30, so we were plus 19. So they had a higher goal difference than we did, so they go above us in the table into second. If it doesn't matter about, at that stage, it doesn't matter about goals scored either. So, for example, if a team had scored 20 but only conceded 1, they'd be plus 19. And the other team had scored 100 but conceded 95, they were only plus 5. So it doesn't matter how many you'd scored, it was the goal difference that is important.
Yeah, so I emailed Linda back and I explained... I got half of it right, Linda.
Yeah.
But Ryan's just explained it properly.
If the goal difference is the same,
yeah,
it then moves on to goals scored.
Right.
So
yes.
we're sort of we're not in the best position at the moment because Wycombe have a better goal difference than us. They also have scored more goals than us. So in both instances... that they're in a better position than us.
Silver lining though, they conceded more goals than us.
Yeah, I know, but they have scored a lot more than us.
Not that makes any difference whatsoever.
No, so that's it basically, Linda.
Yeah.
I think after them two things, if them two things are level, I think it then goes to head-to-head records.
Ugh.
So if your goal difference is the same, the goals scored is the same, I think then it moves on to head-to-head record. That is where we do have the upper hand because we've beaten them twice this season. So yeah, there is a list.
I don't think it's going to get to that point though, so I think we're all right.
Yeah, I think at this stage in the season when people have got a better goal difference or they have scored more goals, unfortunately that sort of acts as an extra point. Because all that team know is they've just got to draw level on points with you and they go above you.
Yeah.
So it is like an extra point, which is a little bit of a negative for us in this instance. And we're not exactly smashing the goals in left, right and centre to be able to claw this goal difference back.
No, it would have been nice to get a few goals on Saturday because then we would have a little bit closer. But
little bit closer.
But we're just one closer.
Yeah.
And Wycombe haven't even played yet, so...
No, I know. Look, if you do want to support the show, you can do so by buying us a coffee. And you do that by visiting buymeacoffee.com/me, the wife. Massive thank you. He's getting a second mention in the show this week. We've already mentioned him once with all his work with the Wrexham Food Bank. Jay has kindly supported the show this week. Massive thank you to you, Jay.
We love you, Jay.
As always.
And we're so gutted that we missed you on your last trip over.
Yeah, we are. But Jay loves a Wrexham trip.
He does love a Wrexham trip.
So we will see you again, and we will
100%.
meet up. Quick Fantasy EFL update. It was a bit of a lacklustre week this week because there's so little games. Loads of games got called off because of international call-ups. So there was just like a few games in no Championship, no Premier League, no Championship. A couple of games in League One, of which we were one, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then I think it was a full League Two fixture. So it sort of limited the pool of players you could pick. No change in the top three. Ben Parker still right up there. Ian Dougal is second and C. Williams is still in third.
Talking of Ian Dougal...
He messaged, didn't he?
He did message, and I'm going to read it out because...
Oh, here we go. Shan's lack of preparedness comes to the fore once again.
Oh, crikey.
Yeah,
I'm so
I know.
bad at the...
Yeah.
Basically... Oh, here we go. He said, thanks for the Where's Ian comment on this week's pod. I was at Reading and at Wycombe with my dad and happy to say I'll be in Wrexham for the Stockport match this weekend. Hope to catch you on Saturday. We're really sorry that we missed you, but it was a bit of a mental Saturday for us, so we didn't go to the turf. We literally...
Straight into the ground. Yeah, we've missed... We love meeting people.
Especially ones we've met before as well.
Yes, and so we always try and make an effort to meet people. The last few that we would have liked to have met up with, who don't sort of live in the area, we've missed for whatever reason. So yeah, we are.
Ian and his dad are one of those people. Two of those people.
So a little bit gutted, but there we go. I'm sure
definitely let us know when you're back up again. Not that there's many games left, but even next season, let us know.
Yeah.
Anybody, let us know if you're coming over and you want to meet up, and we will do everything we can.
Yes.
To make it happen.
Definitely. It was nice on Saturday. It was slowly starting to feel like summer.
Yeah.
It was a little bit warmer, and that always triggers something in my head, where it's like, it's nearly the end of the season. It's nearly here.
I get so sad at this time of the season because I love going to the football, and it's like today we said, because of international break. Oh
yeah, international week.
There's no football, and it's like, I know we went to the game on Saturday, but it's like,
Yeah, I know. I know, but it's starting to feel. You can tell it's coming to the end of the season. Oh, well done to Wales, by the way.
Yeah, 3-1.
Wales beat Kazakhstan. Is that where Borat's from? I know he's not real, but.
His character, I think.
Yeah.
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah.
I think
sure he's from Kazakhstan.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
From that neck of the woods, I think.
Anyway. Yeah. I think the thing that stuck in my head on Saturday, so we got a free hat.
Yes.
Tumbleweed. Yeah.
I don't know what to say about it really, because they are tiny little hats.
They're very small.
Our son had put one on, and he said the circulation in my head is just like
he said I've got to take this off because it's hurting my head.
There was a lot of people that said that.
Yeah,
I think they were the kids' hats.
Do you know what the thing that gave me it sort of I didn't like on Saturday was the countdown to waving the hats.
Oh, we didn't do that.
No, I didn't do that either, and it sort of felt like on a par with the light show at Birmingham for me.
Yeah.
It was sort of like, right, in 5 seconds, wave your hats. And it was 4, 3, 2. And I was looking round going, what's going on?
Well, your dad didn't do it. Literally, your dad, you, Alfie, Zach, me, and sorry, I can't remember what his name is, next to us, and his daughter. None of us did it.
No.
Everyone in front of us waving their hats, and then there was us lot just going.
I know it sort of feels like a bit of being a killjoy, but I was just looking round going, what's happening here?
I didn't want to wave my hat.
People are just waving hats.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it if it's a scarf and you're doing the whole wave the scarf around you. It's a bobbler. And I was just like, I didn't like it. It made me sort of full on cringe a little bit, like.
But thank you for the hats. I've seen a few people already putting them on eBay and things like that for ridiculous prices. I mean, come on, it's a free gift.
Yeah.
Just accept it as a free gift. Try not to make money out of it. It's ridiculous.
I've seen a couple. 30 odd quid was one, and I've seen one for £108.
I've seen one for 30,000.
Yeah, I think
£10 delivery as well.
I think somebody's bid that up purposely so that it won't sell.
Okay.
So yeah, £100 and something I saw, or best offer. Said I think it was £108 or best offer, and it was like, come on.
They were free. I mean,
come on.
Things can't be that difficult, can it?
I know. Yeah. I got my lineup correct on Saturday.
I got one person.
I
put Barney instead of Longman.
Yeah, my dad put Barney in as well.
I thought maybe.
I didn't go with Barney. I went back with Longman again because it was an unchanged. The reason I did the lineup I did is I felt like after Wycombe, I felt like it was going to be an unchanged lineup for the Stockport game, which, as it transpires, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
That was my thinking. I didn't think Phil would go, right, okay, we've put in a good performance at Wycombe, we've beat second in the league to move second in the league ourselves, let's change it up a little bit. I didn't, because Phil's
not like that.
Doesn't seem like that sort of manager. He will change stuff. I mean, he does go, like his head explodes sometimes, and he does. I think we had a couple of occasions this season where he dropped, I think, 4 or 5 people. Arthur being one of them after maybe the Stevenage game. I can't.
It was one where we played very badly.
Yeah, I think it might have been Stevenage he dropped, or it might have been Leighton. Anyway. So he does have these moments, but I just didn't feel like, there was no reason to change that team. Longman seems quite settled in that right back position at the moment.
He is good.
I do worry sometimes about his defending. a little bit. I don't know who's better at defending, Barney or Longman. I'm not sure at the moment. I just feel a bit bad for Barney, really, because he was having an absolute flyer of a season. He was doing great, you know, lots of assists, still the league leader in assists at the moment, I think. We've bought Ryan Longman in, and he's just taken the place. I don't know how I feel about it, if I'm honest.
Well, when Barney came on in the second half, he was, you know, it wasn't like, oh, Longman's gone off, we've got Barney now, let's, you know.
But look, it's nice problems to have.
Yes.
We've had years and years and years of going, well, right, well, we've only got one person.
So-and-so's injured, so we're screwed. Yeah. Now we're going to lose. Yeah, but we haven't got that issue at the moment. So.
Stockport had lots of the ball early on. I think, you know, it was very much, you know, you're sitting there going, it's going to be one of them games where we're not going to see much of the ball. They were very comfortable on the ball, passing it around. They didn't really create that much. It's sort of in the early sort of spells. Camps got injured for them, which was great. No, not great. Sorry, that sounds awful.
I'm not talking about what you just.
No. I shouldn't really say that. It's great. What I mean was, it was good for us that a player like that, because he does sort of control the midfield a little bit. So it was good for us that he left the field.
It wasn't until the next tackle that he got. It went off.
It was Dobbo's tackle, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. That broke the camel's back, as it were.
Or the Camp's ankle.
He didn't break
the tackle that broke the Camp's ankle. Yeah. But yeah, it was. I was glad that he was gone, because he's quite an influential player.
Oh, he made you very angry.
He did. He was doing my head in, to be honest, and I did give him quite a bit of abuse from the sidelines. Which at football at the end of the day, I think it's free. Free for all.
My mum shouted at him. My mum even shouted at him, didn't she?
She did, yeah.
She did. She turned around and she went, Ryan.
She did actually. Yeah,
she did shout at you, and that's probably in the first time in 15 years that she's probably ever shouted at Ryan.
Yeah,
it was quite funny.
Yeah,
but my mum's tiny, and it's like, yeah, whatever.
And she was in front of me, so she was even lower down.
Yeah,
as well.
She probably didn't even know what you said.
She was like,
oh, I love you, Mum.
Yeah,
I love you, Mum.
But back to the game. I think first thing of note really was our penalty appeal. So Smith went through, defender grabbed
his arm, wasn't it?
His wrist, his arm, his wrist, and sort of dragged him down. Oh, furious, because from where I was like, that's a penalty all day long.
Directly in the eye line of the linesman, so he should have seen that.
The linesman, awful that he hasn't given that. I don't know how the ref hasn't given that, but forget the ref for a minute, how the linesman hasn't looked right across at that and gone, oh yeah, that's a penalty.
Yeah.
And then I was worried at that point because I thought, this linesman's weak. But, you know, that he can't put his flag. He can't see that's a penalty. Because I've watched the replays since.
Yeah.
100% a penalty. Nothing will change my mind that is not a penalty. And you know, the worrying thing is that the linesman can't see that's a penalty, or
he's too scared.
He has seen it and he sort of delayed, didn't know what to do, and just done anything.
Just stood there.
And so I was furious about that. And then, a couple of minutes later, we had Bedlam breakout, didn't we? So the ball into the box, McLean's at the back post, headers it, hits the lad on the arm. Again, I'm screaming for a penalty. I'm livid. He hasn't given it. He gives a corner. And then one of the strangest things in football, that we're all going, in the heat of the moment, it felt like a penalty. Okay, I'll talk about that a little bit more since I've seen replays. But let's talk about the decision-making process first and foremost. Now, I found it baffling that they've given a corner, right? And then the ref and the linesman have gone, I don't know who's called who. So I don't know if the ref's gone, I'm going to come and have a chat with you.
Yep.
or the linesman in his little earpiece or whatever's gone, I think you need to come over here. And
I need to speak to you.
Or I need to have a chat with you. They've had a chat and they've decided to give a penalty, right? Which I'm so confused by this scenario because it's one of two things, right? Why has that been given after? So who was somebody in that scenario?
McLean went over to the linesman.
Yeah, I know, but let's forget McLean. I've seen loads of stuff online going, oh, they've buckled under the pressure of McLean shouting at him. McLean shouts at everyone. People don't change their decisions just because he's shouting at them. Have a day off. Forget that.
Yeah.
Right. So, but somebody in that scenario has been the one going, I think this might be a penalty. So is that the ref who's done that, or is that the linesman going, I think that might be a penalty?
No, I think that was probably the 10,000 Wrexham fans.
Do you know what I mean? Somebody. Yeah. So which one of them has gone, I think that's a penalty. Yeah. But whichever one of them did think it was a penalty, why haven't they given it in the first place? Why have they needed that little time to go?
I'm glad they had that little tete-a-tete, to be honest.
There's two ways of looking at this, where you go, the decision-making process there is horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrendous. Somebody needs to just make that decision, right?
Instantly.
And the linesman needs to go, that's handball, I'm going to give it, right? Or the ref goes, I'm going to give it, but I'm not 100% sure, so let's have a little conversation. Yeah. Or the linesman gives it, then have a conversation, and then... That for me is how it should go.
Yeah.
Not give nothing and then have a conversation and then change your mind.
Well, he gave a corner, didn't
yeah.
he?
So that for me is a horrible decision-making process. Just give it, then have your conversation, all right? But then on the flip side of that, I think I then sort of look at it as someone's made a mistake. Either the ref's made a mistake or the linesman's made a mistake. And they've had the guts to correct it and actually give it. So I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think if I was a Stockport fan,
yeah,
I'd be livid at that whole process. And I think as a Stockport fan, you'd be less livid if someone would have give it and then they would have had the conversation. That's where it falls down for me.
It was a bit strange.
It did confuse me. Was it a penalty for you, though? Let's forget the Smith one. I think that's 100% a penalty. Was the handball a penalty?
Maybe not, because maybe his arm was in a natural position.
It was completely unnatural, by the way. He had his arm in the air.
Oh, did he? Sorry. Yeah. To be honest, I couldn't see. This is the problem when it's over that end. I can't really see.
Yeah.
And there was so much going on. I was just like, so I don't know. I'm honest.
There's a few factors. I think it is so much less of a penalty than the Sam Smith one. So the fact,
100%. I agree with you there.
So the fact that we got one of them is good.
It's fine.
Because I'm not sure if you showed me both of them things and said one of these is a penalty and one is not. Well, it would be the Sam Smith one is the penalty and the handball is not.
Yeah.
Were they both penalties? Possibly. I mean, there's a few factors here. A few people have said McLean pushed him in the back. And then he's fallen and his arms come out. I think if you get pushed in the back, your arm doesn't go up in the air like that.
Yeah, your arms are going to go
out in front of you.
Exactly, yeah.
So, yeah, maybe I don't buy that.
Yeah.
Was his arm in a natural position? No, it was above his head.
Maybe that is natural position.
Maybe he just
walks around like that.
I didn't notice, but I didn't see him walking around with his arm in the air. It's a completely unnatural position. He has got his back to where the ball is. I don't know. It's an awkward one. I think, people... It's one of them decisions where people are going to go, definitely a penalty. And then you're going to have people going, that is definitely not a penalty. And I don't know where I fall, really.
Didn't Peter send you a message and say that wasn't a penalty?
Yeah, Peter Langenecker, he texted and said, definitely not a penalty. But I don't know, it's a strange one, really, because, yes, his arm was in an unnatural position, but with a ball coming from behind him, he wouldn't know where that was. But you don't have to know where it is.
You don't need your arm in the air.
No, and you don't have to know where the ball's coming from if your arm's in another. I don't know. It's probably, by the letter of the law, probably is a penalty, I think. But look, who cares?
Jay Rodriguez. Well, we thought initially Sam Smith was going to take the penalty.
I knew 100% Sam wasn't taking the penalty. And the reason, I'll explain that now for everyone. There is a little bit of a thing that happens in football these days where I think Emi Martinez has probably done this, where somebody's going up to the Aston Villa goalkeeper, Argentinian goalkeeper. He goes and he's just talking he's standing by the penalty spot, talking in the ear of the person taking the penalty, trying to psych them out, trying to put them off. Right, and it happens all the time. And it happens everywhere. So there's this thing now where the person that is taking the penalty is nowhere near.
Right.
So somebody will pick the ball up.
Right, okay.
And they will go and stand on the penalty spot. And then the goalkeeper's chatting away. They've got players walking over, giving it in their ear, going, oh, you're going to miss this, or oh, I'd go to the left if I was you, or whatever that they're saying to them. And they're holding the ball. And then when the ref clears the area, they hand the ball off to the person who is actually taking the penalty, so they haven't had to listen to any of the crap from the opposition players.
That's good.
Happens a lot now. Doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen a lot. And when Sam picked it up, I was like, I don't think he's the one that's going to take this. I felt like Jay Rodriguez was going to be the one who's going to take it. Horrible penalty. Horrible penalty.
But he clawed it back and he got a goal.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure how he managed it. He sneaked it between his legs in the end.
I was so happy for him.
Yeah.
And I called it 1-0 before half-time.
You did. You said...
You were like, 0-0. I was like, no, it's going to be 1-0. Jay Rodriguez scoring.
I think that history dictates it was probably going to be 0-0 at half-time.
Yeah, but I had faith.
You went for 1-0.
So I should get some sort of allowance for that, for prediction-wise.
Allowance? What, monetary allowance? Or
No. Just a tick on the old spreadsheet.
Absolutely not. That's happening. So 1-0 at half-time. Really happy for Jay to have got his first goal. Yeah. He looked thrilled with it as well, which was good.
The floodgates are now open, let's face it.
Hopefully, that'd be nice.
Well, yeah, hopefully.
Second half, it was a bit of a nail biter. Arthur tipped one of their headers onto the bar early on in the second half. Rathbone should have made it 2-0. Header about 6-7 yards out on his own, and he somehow managed to put it wide. We were all like, oh, it's in. Oh, no, that's awful.
I think everyone got up on their feet at this point. And then it was like going right by the goal and it was like, oh, sit down.
Hill's got second yellow. Again, a little bit soft, but they went down to 10 men. It petered out into a 1-0. We moved back into second place.
3 points ahead of, obviously, Wickham. They didn't play on Saturday. Do they play on Tuesday?
Yes, we watched it. We've literally been talking...
No, Tuesday. Tomorrow, Tuesday. Are they?
Yes. No, they're not.
Okay, so we've got to wait till next Saturday.
Yeah, we do. I was looking at something, actually. 10 years ago, today, we lost 2-0 to Nuneaton Borough in the National League.
Who even are they?
They've gone out of business, I think, now.
Oh, right. Okay.
But and we finished 11th in the National League that season, 3 points ahead of Chester. And look at us now, we're knocking on the door of the Championship.
That's scary.
10 years ago, this Saturday, I was in Wembley with my dad, watching us lose to North Ferriby.
Don't know who they are either.
They've gone bust as well now. They've gone out. They don't exist anymore. So that's 10 years ago. Me and my dad were at Wembley watching that.
We were together then.
Yeah, we were.
I remember that. I remember you going to
weren't
Wembley.
there though. It's just me and my dad.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I had a child. I stayed at home with a child.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
That was a horrible day as well. We were 2-0 up. They brought it back to 2-2. Then they went 3-2 up. And anyway, I absolutely hated that visit to Wembley. I'm not going to cry. Don't worry, I'm not. It was our 10th 1-0, like we said, of the season in the league. I think O'Connell and Brunt deserve special mentions for Saturday.
O'Connell 100%.
O'Connell was a man mountain on Saturday. He was super brilliant. But I'd special mention for Brunt. I thought Brunt's one of them players who's gonna come with us.
Apart from his little shoulder thing that he did.
What little shoulder
I think it was
thing?
in the first half. It was a handball.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
He went into the ball like that. It was like Stephen Fletcher's, he just went like that, didn't he, with the ball?
Yeah.
Go away.
Yeah, I think Brunt's definitely one that's coming on the full journey with us with Max.
I like Lewis. I think. Do you know what he can get? He can get in the air so good.
He's got a leap on him.
He has got a leap.
Massive leap. Only 38% possession.
Yep.
On Saturday.
Yep.
To be honest, I didn't realise it was that much.
7 yellow cards we had.
Yeah, we did. We had
7. Do you know what? When I was doing the stats, I thought 7.
Yeah.
I can't even remember there being 7.
McLean, Dobson, Rathbone, Fletcher, Brunt. There was a few.
Do you know,
Arthur got booked for time wasting.
Yeah, I remember that one.
There was loads.
So yeah, I was like 7 yellow cards. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think one thing, a stat worth throwing out there is that we have taken 22 points from a possible 30 when Jay and Sam have started together.
I think, yeah.
So all the doubters out there, we have 22 points from 30 that's promotion.
But then you get the people going, wow, maybe we would have got more if Paul Mullen and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Few messages. Ron some fun. They didn't win convincingly, so I will take the win up the town. Cryptic, hello from down under.
Hello.
Huge result in the race for second, and Steve Barton 12 1-0 matches this season.
Rick O'Brien, huge 3 points against a fierce rival, hard-fought defensive battle. We are so fortunate that these past few years to experience the edge of your seat games. I will take you up on your group heart medication offer, LOL.
Yeah.
Todd Cross, we still play like underdogs, winning underdogs.
Yeah, maybe. Look, if you do want to get in touch with the show, you can comment on this YouTube video. You can click contact the show if you're listening to us as a podcast. That's at the bottom of the description. Or all the usual social media stuff, Blue Sky X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads. Or, of course, you can email us at wrexhamafc@gmail.com.
So, Saturday roundup, Wycombe's game against Huddersfield was called off due to international call-ups. Charlton lost 3-0 away at Peterborough.
That was the result of the day for me. I mean, it was huge for us to beat Stockport. I think we had to follow up last Saturday's win against Wycombe with something big against Stockport, and we had to win. Look, 1-0, take it.
I was going to say it wasn't massive, was it? But
no,
it was still a win at the end of the day.
It is a huge win, though.
Yeah. 100%.
In stature as opposed to in goals.
Every win now, I think, is
huge. Yeah. But, Charlton losing because Charlton were on a bit of a charge, and I think they'd won however many in a row, or they're undefeated in so many. So for them to lose and derail that sort of charge a little bit was massive. We are now 8 points ahead of Charlton, who are in fourth. We're 3 ahead of Wycombe, as you said, and we're 9 points ahead of Stockport. We are currently 14 points within the playoffs, even though we're not in the playoffs, we're in the automatics, but 14 points back are Bolton, who are in 7th, just outside the playoffs.
It is mad how quickly the table changes.
It is massive. Let's talk about Exeter.
So it's the 39th league game of the season. It's on Saturday, the 29th of March, and it is kickoff is at 3. It is away at St James's Park, which is about 4 hours away from here, or if your bus breaks down, 24. So it's 232 miles away. They play in red and white stripes. Their away shirt is blue and their third shirt is black. I'm assuming they're going to play in red and white, and we're going to either play in gold or black.
Yeah, I would say so.
Their last league game with them the last league game with them, was a 3-0 win on the 23rd of November.
Fact for you.
Okie dokie.
That is the last time that we scored 3 in a league game.
Is it?
In November. And it is also the last time that we saw Ollie Palmer score.
Oh.
So quite a while ago for both of them things.
Their top scorer is Josh McGuinness, who scored 5, but he's not scored in the last 7 games.
Their top scorer got sold in January to Luton.
Yeah.
So that is a
He's
little
like a second.
It's sort of second, but
now first
because the first one's gone.
Yeah.
It's now him. Yeah.
So over the weekend they drew 0-0 away at Lincoln. They're 16th on 45 points. They've won 12 games. They've drawn 9 and they've lost 16. They're unbeaten in their last 6. So they've won 2 and drawn 2.
Yeah.
No,
they haven't won 2 and drawn 2 because that is just 4 games. They've won 2 and drawn 4.
What did I say?
1, 2, drawn 2.
Oh, I meant 4.
They've won 2 and drawn 4.
I meant 4. It's got it written down there. I meant 4. So prediction.
1-0. No, I'm joking. Veto the 1-0. I am going to go for 2-0 Wrexham.
Oh, you bugger.
Is that where you're going?
Yeah. I'm going to go. What did you say? 2-1?
2-0.
Oh. I'm going to go
4-0.
10-0. No, I'm going to go. I can't go 1-0. I'm going to go 2-1 again.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go 1-0.
Fair enough.
2-0. I would just want to say I would go for 1-0 if I was allowed.
I probably would as well. That's why we're not doing 1-0s anymore.
Oh, come on. Cut me some slack. I'm losing.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, quick shout out for Dragon Chat. It's a mental health peer support group. They run 2 weekly Zoom calls. One is on a Monday at 8 p.m. and that's for women. The other one is on Thursday at 7 p.m. and that's for men. To find out how to get on there, if you go to the Wrexham AFC website, go to the community tab, the health tab, and they're down at the bottom there. Alternatively, if you can't be bothered doing that, you can just look in the description of this video if you're watching on YouTube, and all the details of that, how to do it are on there. You can also follow them on social media. They are at DragonChat WXMFC on X and at dragonchat.bsky.social on Blue Sky. Are you ready for the quiz? Yeah. Okay. Good stuff.
Yes.
You seem really excited. So
well, I'm never excited about this quiz unless I get to the end and I'm winning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, we are obviously paying the refs at the moment. That's what everyone is saying.
Yeah.
Little brown envelope to the ref. That's how we got the penalty on Saturday, because we're just paying the refs. Okay. So because we are paying the refs, I have done a We Are Paying the Refs quiz.
Okay.
All right?
Right. You know.
Are you ready?
I'm scared, yes.
Because we are obviously paying the refs, we've received 0 red cards this season. But how many red cards have we managed to bribe the refs to give to our opponents when they have played us this season? Is it 2? Is it 4? Is it 6? Or is it 8?
I'm going to go 6.
It's not 6, it's 4. Oh! That is Stockport, Reading, Leyton Orient and Birmingham who have received red cards.
Great start.
Not the best start.
No.
Number 2, how many penalties have we bought this season? Is it 1, 2, 3 or 4?
3.
Incorrect, it's 2. Blackpool and Stockport.
I hate this game.
Number 3.
Yes.
When the money wasn't enough, how many penalties have the refs given against us in the league this season? Is it 1, 2, 3 or 4?
2.
That is incorrect. It's 4. Charlton, Cambridge, Shrewsbury and Reading.
Oh, I'm bowing out now.
Is it what you on?
Nothing.
Question 4.
God.
Come on, you've got to claw back some pride here. Yeah?
My pride has just gone out the window. Yeah. Bye
4.
bye, pride.
4. We have played 38 league games this season, but how many fouls have we conceded in total? Is it 441, 499, 543, or 602?
543.
Incorrect. It is 441.
Oh my God, I just go home now.
I know. This is your last chance.
Which make no difference.
Well, it means you get 1 and not 0. So I would say this is massive. Question 5. The refs are paid not to give us any red cards, but to make it seem fair, we let them dish out some yellows. How many League One yellow cards have we had this season? 53, 61, 69, or 76?
76.
Incorrect. It is 69.
I was going to go for 69.
Where, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to... Do you know what? I was going to go for all those numbers that you said before.
Oh, should we just make it 5 out of 5 then instead of 0?
Yeah.
Oh,
Almost.
Just a bit of fun. We obviously don't pay the referees.
We don't.
Maybe.
No, we don't.
Maybe.
It's ridiculous.
Maybe.
And it's always the always the teams, always the managers, may I just say, that come back and go, oh,
Wow, that was... I am so glad I paused for you to just...
well, yeah,
what was the noise? What was that noise?
I don't even know. But yeah, basically, it's always the manager at the end of the game, like, oh, the ref made bad decisions, and then the fans go, you paid the ref.
Yeah, I know.
And it's just sore losers.
I wonder. I haven't actually looked what if Dave Challoner did an interview.
He did.
I'm gonna have to read that.
He was not happy about the penalty.
Oh, but he's Chester scum, isn't he? So
is he? Is he from Chester?
Yeah, he's born in Chester, I think.
Oh,
Dave Challoner, but there we go. Yeah, never mind. Unlucky. It continued the run, didn't it? 7 times in a row now that the home team have won. They win at their place, we win at our place. Let's just keep that going. I'm happy with that.
Hopefully we won't see him next season, so...
Possibly not.
We'll see.
Not. Who knows? Look, thank you very much for joining us again this week. We hope you've enjoyed it. We hope you have a great week. And we'll see you...
Before we go, no. On Wednesday the 26th of March... It is Stephen Fletcher's birthday, and obviously because we won't be recording until the Sunday after, we would just like to wish our Scottish Viking a happy 38th birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Stephen. We love you.
Enjoy your week, and we'll see you next week. Bye.